And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another special edition of the ETBU Sportsnet with your friendly host, Kenneth the K-Rock Klein. Yay. As once again, he's on the air and broadcasting special Sportsnet edition. Now, folks, we have had a tradition going on this summer where we've counted down our top 10 individual moments from the past season. We've had 9 incredible athletes, all of whom are deserving to be number one, to say the least. But there can only be one person, and for the third time in my 5 years at ETBU, and for the second time in the past 3 straight years, although second straight year in a row, a member of the ETBU baseball team occupies the number one spot. And for the first time ever, that someone does not have the last name of Combs, although to be fair, the last name begins with a C, which I'm proud to say that's the last name as well. But anyways, all that stuff out of the way, our number one individual moment goes to Blake Corbin for his complete game shutout over the defending conference champion Concordia University Tornadoes. Career high, 13 strikeouts, 3 hits. The guy was in his zone. He was an ASC Pitcher of the Week, and we'll talk about that more in just a moment. But first and foremost, Blake, I know that things have been kind of crazy for you dealing with everything, but Blake, just give us an update on where you are and what's been going on with you.
Well, right now I'm back in Marshall. I'm working with a former teammate, Carl Florence. We're working for a performance course at the high school at Lindale. I'm just helping those kids get ready for their football season and trying to do the best we can to stay healthy and let them have a season this year. So.
Absolutely. And one question I might add before it, was there any sort of competition for the battle of the mustaches between the two of you to see who's got the better mustache?
Yeah, there has been. He would say he has a better stash. I think we have different styles. He likes to curl his up a little bit, and I like just to keep mine down. But I think if you ask him, he'd say he has a better mustache, but I think I do.
Well, not to go anything against Carl, but I would say because of this, you probably have the edge at this point right now. So anyway, getting away from facial hair for a time being. So or Blake, I should say, I don't want to get that wrong. Blake, the performance, as I said, we're talking about, of course, the complete game shutout victory against Concordia University. Now, this was the team that, of course, you had faced in the Red Bracket Championship Series last year. And, of course, they got the better end of you. But you went into the game. Well, first and foremost, when did you know that you were going to be starting the opening series game against Concordia?
Man, it's been a long time. I think I found out like a Wednesday. So I had a couple of days to prepare. Kind of getting that mindset of having to start another game. So I was coming out of the pen at that point. And so having to reshift gears and getting that mindset of starting and give my team the best chance to win. That's kind of the timeline I had. So.
Absolutely. And of course, obviously that game, you started off very well, to say the least. You took a no-hitter into like the 7th inning, of course, and then they got their first hit. But, like early on in the game, it just seemed like you were kind of creeping along. What was working for you all game long? Was it just sort of breaks that you were getting, or just the pitches were going right for you?
Well, that game was very interesting, to say the least, because I think up until like the 6th or 7th inning, I threw nothing but fastballs, and it was kind of crazy. I think Coach Matthews just said, we're just going to keep throwing that until they hit it. And, I mean, credit to them. They're a very good team. And the opposing pitcher, Matt Williams, I think that's his name, he did a great job too. Just one hit went our way. But, yeah, everything was working. Fastball was working that the whole time until, I guess, 7th inning. They got that first hit, and then I had to kind of mix it up. But just lived off the fastball and tried to hit my spots and trusting Coach Matthews and my catcher to do the job for me. So.
Yeah, and of course, the one run that you would get in the bottom of the 5th inning came off the bat of Ford Spigner. So at that point, obviously when you're playing against a great team like Concordia, one run might not always be the necessary safe lead, but in this particular case, it certainly helped out as well. And you were also helped out by a couple of defensive double plays as well. Talk about the defense of your team, the 8 guys right behind, the 7 behind you and the catcher right in front. But just talk about their play in helping you keep the shutout going until the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, those double plays helped me out big time. I know I put some guys on for that to happen, but they bailed me out a couple times with that. And then the catcher, I forgot who it was, but definitely helped me out. I think it was Cam Neal, but he was definitely spotting up and getting calls from me. Or no, Singletary. Dylan Singletary was catching for me. There he goes. He was definitely getting calls from me and had built that relationship with the umpire, and that kind of helped me out a lot too. So.
Well, either way, whether it was Singletary or Neal, I'm sure it wouldn't have mattered. They would have done their job.
Oh, yeah.
So, Blake, the interesting thing about you so far is the fact that your career has kind of had its fair share of up and downs. I remember the 2017 season. It was the AFC Championship game. It was a must-win game against UT Tyler where you just kind of pitched your heart out, tried to keep the guys in the game for them to get a chance to win. The results may have not been there, but that was definitely an early sign that, it seemed like you had a great career. But then things just kind of took a little bump in the road. I think there was a year where you missed most of the season due to an injury. Just kind of talk about your career, like, overall from the ups and the downs and just, like, how that was able to shape you not only from a baseball perspective but also from a faith-based person.
Yeah, for sure. My freshman year, I came in, did my job, and results showed. And then I think going into my sophomore year, I kind of took that for granted. And like, I had success. I really don't need to work hard. And it really showed. In my junior summer going to my junior year, I decided, like, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to do everything I can to be successful, and just got injured. And I kind of took a hit on everything. But on the faith-based side, my junior year, I think that really allowed me to focus on being, like, a better teammate and strengthen my relationship with Christ. And I think up until that point, I was a baseball player that was a Christian, not a Christian that used the platform of baseball to spread the word. So that really opened my eyes in that perspective. I'm very blessed for that year because I learned a lot of things through that. So.
Yeah, certainly. And also the fact that you were able to play with some tremendous guys, obviously the Combs brothers, Zach Compton, Zach Gartner, and then, the guy that graduated last year as well. Just what was it like learning from those guys? I know they were position players as well, but also from the players in front of you. So that way you entered your senior season trying to be the leader you can for the next generation.
Yeah, definitely. Playing on those guys and seeing how they led, that was a big, that kind of opened my eyes too. They were very vocal, and they got the job done, and that's something I wanted to carry on in my senior year, and then I like to call it my Corona year, fifth year. But seeing those guys and learning from them and retaining everything from them and being a sponge as a young kid, watching them play, and then throughout my years, definitely helped me out becoming the leader I want to be. And so.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, this past season, the results necessarily weren't going your way, but it felt like, you guys were having, I guess, kind of the young team, rookie mistakes and everything. It seemed like you guys were making progress, but then all of a sudden, all this happens. So when something like that kind of interferes with your progression or your progress, does it kind of necessarily make you take a step back to think about the bigger picture, or does it sort of like interfere with your thought process? Like from your perspective, let me rephrase the question. Like, how are you able to handle everything as far as, not being able to play baseball for the rest of the season and then just kind of continuing on with what you're trying to do?
Yeah. So one thing Coach Hood talks about is never taking anything for granted, especially on the baseball field, because nothing's given. And so, like, it sucked having our season cut off, but, like, in the moment, it taught me, like, anything can happen at any moment, and baseball can be gone for me and for anybody else. And so just playing every game or every practice or whatever baseball related, don't take it for granted and do everything I got. Give it everything I got and represent the Lord while doing it. So nothing's guaranteed, and I'm taking the same approach this season. I still got to work, and it carries over into life too. Like, nothing's guaranteed. You got to work. Nothing's given to you, and don't take anything for granted.
So what necessarily drew you to ETBU, like coming to ETBU in the first place?
One, it was a faith-based school. I knew I wanted to go to that, and the size of the school. I went to a big high school. I went from not knowing everybody in my class to now ETBU. Like, I pretty much see everyone and like at least say hi to them and recognize the face. But I knew I wanted smaller classes and have that relationship with the teachers. And then on the baseball side, Coach Hood and the coach staff at that time, I made them feel welcome and they wanted me. And it was my only offer at the time, so I took it right up. But I think it was a God thing because I had no offers up until that point, and then I got an email from I think Coach Peterson at the time saying to come visit, and it was a God thing. And I knew as soon as I walked on the campus, I wanted to play. I wanted to be a Tiger. So.
Absolutely. Well, Blake, obviously, you being the number one individual moment for this season, we've had so many tremendous athletes. For you personally, something like that, especially afterwards where you were named the American Southwest Conference Pitcher of the Week, what does that necessarily mean, not just for you, but for your program and for the community and for everybody in your life to know that something like this, has been a positive thing for you?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely big. I mean, there's been a lot of great moments within this past year throughout all of ETBU sports, but to represent ETBU baseball and putting a baseball team, having a good name for them, that's a big deal. And then I know my family's proud of me and what I've accomplished in this one particular moment. It's a big. It means a lot to me, to be honest. I've never had this kind of recognition, so it's definitely different, but I'm getting used to it.
Well, definitely. One more question for you, Blake. Which would you rather do? Would you rather step into the batter's box facing 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, or would you rather be playing the outfield with your opposite gloved hand? So you'd be throwing lefty.
Ooh, I think I'd rather hit off 100 miles per hour. Say I stood in the box against someone throwing that hard.
How good were you as a hitter, by the way? That's what I'm wondering.
I could hold my own. I wouldn't know power hitter. I'd be a singles guy up the middle. That's about all I had.
Well, that's good. Maybe pinch hitting appearance. Maybe try to get Coach Hood to ask you to pinch hit next year if the game goes too long. So, all right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, Blake, first and foremost, congratulations once again. A lot of things have been going on positively with your life, and we look forward to talking to you in the near future. And congratulations once again for being the number one individual moment.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And that's going to do it for another edition of the ETBU Sports Moment. Tune in next time on our YouTube channel. We'll have more for you in the near future.